Hi, I'm Punong Guru Edgar Soliti. Now we will continue from the basic drills of tape number 1 to more advanced drills. Okay, now we go to the next strike. So your opponent will strike you in the knee. So your counter will be like this. You can use the cruzada sirada, right over left or left over right. So if you strike to the knee, you can parry with a stick, then you hit the head, okay? Then you can make a follow-up like that. So remember, that's very important. Again, so here, pop, then I can hit to the head again. Here, then I could make this follow-up, or I could use left over right. There, pop. So if you strike number 2, you can counter. You can block with your right. At the same time, you hit him in the head. Then strike, okay? If I strike to the stick, this will naturally be removed from his hand because that is a powerful blow. You can do it in combat, or you can do the strike here to the hand, okay? So I could block with the right hand. I strike the head. I follow up, then there, okay? Or again, I could do this one, then I can hit the hand, then make a follow-up to the head, there, okay? So that is the possible way. So you can do left over right, or you can do right over left, again, okay? If you are doing left over right, you are stopping the force. You can hit here, or you can hit the head. You are stopping the force, and you can do the follow-up over there, okay? But if it is right over left, you go with the force. So here, going with the force, then bang. Okay? So that is the difference if you do it left over right and right over left. Now, we go to cruzada abierta way. So you can do left over right, or you can do right over left. Again, okay? If you are doing with your right, at the same time, you hit him in the head, then strike, okay? If I strike to the stick, this will naturally be removed from his hand because that is a powerful blow. You can do it in combat, or you can do the strike here to the hand, okay? So I could block with the right hand. I strike the head. I follow up, then there, okay? Or again, I could do this one, then I can hit the hand, then make a follow-up to the head, there, okay? So that is the possible way. So you can do left over right, or you can do right over left, again, okay? If you are doing left over right, you are stopping the force. You can hit here, or you can hit the head. You are stopping the force, and you can do the follow-up over there, okay? But if it is right over left, you go with the force. So here, going with the force, then bang. Okay? So that is the difference if you do it left over right and right over left. Now, we go to cruzada abierta. So, left over right. So if you strike number 2, I hit, bang! There, okay? So I could also do this position to beat him. So if he strike, bang, oh, there, okay? Remember that I only strike the stick, but in reality, I can strike the hand. So here, there, then follow up to the head and hand, okay? So that is the cruzada abierta. Or I could also do with right over left, okay? So here, I hit, then make a follow-up there. Okay, that is the cruzada abierta. Then, we go to bagsak paikot. So, if he strike, I could also counter it with this one, okay? Again, I strike, then follow up. Okay. I could also strike, then follow up with the left hand, okay? So, remember that I use the circular strike. I strike the stick, but I could also strike the hand there, then strike there. Okay? Then I could also use the left hand as a counter against his strike. There, here, then I could do this follow-up. Okay? Again, I could use the left hand to make a follow-up. Okay. Then I could also use the right hand as a follow-up. So if he strike number 2, I deflect with my left, then I make a follow-up with the right. Okay? So that is the possible counter of your strike number 2. The next, you can also use the same counter against number 1 to number 2. So if you strike to the knee, you can also do the aldebes. Okay, so here I hit the hand, then make a follow-up there. Okay, I hit the hand, then follow up with the right. Okay, again, I hit the hand, then I could make a follow-up with the left. Again, I hit the hand, I make a follow-up with the left hand. Okay, or you can do also with the left hand. So if you strike number 2, I hit the hand and bang! If you strike the stick will really go from the hand. Okay? But you will be aiming it to the hand itself. But you can also do it to the stick. Okay, we go to the last counter against number 2 strike. We call this the pluma. So if you strike number 2, you back off with your right foot backward and there. Okay? So you will notice that I don't parry just like this as the old method were doing. Okay? Old people. You have to strike with power in order to stop the flow of his strike. So if you just do like this, there will be tendency that this will go up or it will be disarmed from your hand. So what you have to do, I have to cut, then I can make a follow-up there. So you will notice that my pluma, okay, I am using a cut downward in order to stop. So this could be the checking. Okay, then I could hit this one, bang, bang, then I could hit the head. Okay, so that is the application of your pluma, which you can do against number 2 strike. Now we go to strike number 3. You will notice that I almost use the same principle with number 1 and number 2 here. So if you strike number 3, which aim to the knee, it could be the left knee or it could be the right knee, depending upon what foot is in front. So I could also counter with the cruzada, okay, sirada. I stop the flow, then I strike the head. Okay, this is right over left. Remember, we have taken this a while ago. I don't know if you still remember. Okay, so if you strike, okay, I block, I hit. I could hit here, but I could also hit here. I could hit here, here, then to the head. It depends upon what you will do. So here, if you strike, I block, I hit the head, then I strike. Okay, then. Okay. Now, it could be also left or right. So if you strike number 2, I pass. Okay? I can let this pass. I could also hit the hand. At the same time, I hit the head. Again, this is left or right. So here, bang, then I could follow up. Okay, again. Here, I could strike. I could hit the hand. I could hit the head. Then I could do the aldebes, whatever follow-up you will do. Okay? So you can do right over left or left over right. Now we go to cruzada abierta against strike number 3. Okay, we are doing this one to inform you that there are different possibilities that you can do against the different strikes. Okay. So if you strike number 3, I could use pack. Then I make a follow-up. Okay, so you will notice that the pattern of the gunting, okay, this one is being used all the time. So here, this is number 3, right over left, or I could also do it with left over right. Then I could make a follow-up, okay. Again, if I will do it right over left, I am passing it, okay. At the same time, I am cutting to the head. But remember that the cutting will not only be to the head all the time. You can also hit the hand. Now we go to the next one. If you strike number 3 and you are in this position, you can also counter with this one. Follow up. Okay, again, slowly. There. So I use my right hand circular strike with right hand follow up, okay? Or I can use my right hand circular strikes with left hand follow up. So I use the left hand if I overstroke my right hand and my body positioning is here. So your counter depends upon your body angle. So if your body angle is only here, then the right hand is the one favorable for striking. But if you move back, then the left hand will be the one that will do the striking. Okay, again. So here, left hand. You can follow up with this one, whatever you want. Okay. You can also use the right hand bagsak, okay? So if you strike number 3, I mean, you can strike right away. There. So you will notice that this is a direct hit. So I could hit the hand and hit the head right away using my right hand. Or I can also use my left hand. If you strike number 3, bang, then here. Okay. You notice that I am hitting the hand. I'm no longer blocking. Because if you hit the hand, your opponent, no matter how big he is or how strong he is, he will become harmless. So here in this movement, if you strike number 3, I hit the hand. But I could also hit the stick. But in these movements, the hand is more preferable to hit. Then you can make a follow-up. Okay. Again, if you strike to the knee, I hit the hand. I can make a follow-up here, or I can make a follow-up to the head. Okay. So that's what you can do. Okay. Now we go to the aldabes. So the aldabes, you can also use it in number 3 strike. So I will use first the right hand aldabes. If I am in this position, so that's number 3 against number 3 strike, because this is number 3 angle in our striking method. So if you strike number 3, I could also hit the hand, then make a follow-up, then here. Okay. Or I can also direct hit to the head, but I just move. You notice that I move back my footwork, but at the same time I hit the head, then here. Okay. Or I can also use the left hand as a follow-up. So here I could use the left hand as a follow-up. Then if you are in this position, you can use the left hand as the aldabes or striking upward, or you counter upward. So you go back, then hit with the left hand, follow up with the right. Okay, again. Here I counter, then bang, okay? Again. I use the left hand, okay? There. Then I use again the left hand with the kali size, okay? Or I can also do this one. I use the right hand follow-up. So if you strike number 3, I hit the hand, follow up with this one. Then all the best. Spark. Okay? So that is the possible counter for your number 3 if your opponent will strike you in the low line. Okay, we go to pluma. If he strike number 3 to the knee, you can also parry like this, okay? Then go back. There. So here, you can do this one, then hit. Okay. Or you can just simply block like this, then hit, then disarm. Okay, we go to strike number 4. Counter against strike number 4. So if your opponent will strike you in the right ear, this is what you have to do if you have double sticks. Okay, first, you block, okay? You can pass this one, then you can hit. Okay, again. Strike number 4, I do the sombrada, scope it, then there. Again, slowly. I counter, then I scope it downward as I hit. I hit, then hit again. So that is what you can do. Again. So here, okay. Now, another counter for number 4. You can also do or stop it here at the same time you hit like this. So, sometimes you block at the same time you hit the hand. Then make a follow-up with this one. Again, I block as I hit, okay? Then I use the right hand to scope it. Then I make a follow-up there. Okay. Again, I strike, I scope, then hit the hand. Follow up there. Okay. Now, we go to gunting or cruzada abierta. So, left or right first. So, if you strike number 4, bang, I could make that follow-up. Again, here, okay? So, I could use that one or I could use this one. Okay, again. Then I could hit the hand, then I could make a follow-up, then okay. So that is what you can do against number 4. Or you can also do right hand over left. So if you strike number 4, you could pass at the same time you hit. You make a follow-up hit to the hand, head, knee, head. Okay? It's up to you what kind of follow-up you will do. Okay, that is the cruzada. Okay. Again, I use the right hand deflection to pass the strike, but at the same time I am hitting the hand. I could make a follow-up to the hand, then I strike the head. Then head, I could strike the knee, then head again. Okay. Now we go to tutsada. Okay. I could counter the strike number 4 with tutsada, but I have to make a checking hand right away. So here, left hand, check. Can hit the hand, head, hand, then head. Okay, or hand. Okay, again. Okay. You will notice that I always check to the weapon or to the hand to be sure that his hand is still there. Okay. Now, you can also do the tutsada inside. So here, I could use that one. Okay. So, I could use the left hand, then follow up with that one. Or I could use the right hand, then there. Okay. Again, I use left hand. I thrust. Then I can cut. There. Okay. Or I could use right hand, follow up. Then I could go down. Okay. Again. Here, I could use this one. Then I could hit the knee. Then go back to the head. So if he strike number 4, I could do the aldabes, then follow up. Okay? There. Again. I could do this one. Okay? So, what you have to do, since he is aiming you in the head, you have to move back. Okay? So here, if he strike, move back and avail the opening. Okay? But you have to watch that one. Okay? Again, here, pack, strike. Boom! Again, mark. So I do this one, you strike to the bang, then I use the cruzada. Okay? So if you combine the different technique that you have learned, you can use it in combat. Again, so I use the right hand and make it as a follow-up too. But I can also use the right hand all the best, then make the left hand follow up with the right hand, then follow up with the left hand. Okay, so it's up to you what hand you will do the follow-up. Then we will do the aldabes, left hand. So, if you are in this position, if you strike number 4, you have to move, then follow up with the left hand. Okay? Again, strike the hand, then strike the head. Or you can just parry to the stick, then strike the hand, then go to the head again. Okay? So, here, you can use the left hand, follow up, or you can use the right hand, follow up. Okay? So, that's what you can do. Another counter is number 4. You can do the panipis, okay? So, if you strike, you have to block, then strike the hand right away. Because before the stick reaches you, the hand arrive first to the center. So why wait for the stick if his hand is already in the center? So, pop, you have to hit. But you also check the stick, or you have to parry or block the stick. Again. So again, bang, then you can do this one. Okay? Another counter. If he strike number 4, you can block, bang, then do that one. That is if you are in close quarter. But be sure that your strike will be firm, because this movement is so dangerous. That's why you have to put it down right away. Okay? Or else you can do the pluma. Okay? Again, here, there. So that's the safest way. Because you are putting a force here to stop the flow. Then you can hit that one, then poke to the head right away. Again, strike number 4, I could counter with that one, or I could do this one, then hit the head. Okay? So that is the possible counter to strike number 4. Okay, now we go to the number 5 thrust. If it's thrust number 5, you can counter to the inside, okay? You block, at the same time you hit, and you can make a follow-up that way. Okay, again. pack. Or you can also do it with left over right, because the first one I did is right over left. So the right over left is like this, okay? But if you do it left over right, you stop the flow, or you can hit, but you have to move away, okay? Then here. Or you can also use the full side step, okay? There. Or you can do it outside. There. So you can use right over left, then follow up, okay? Or you can use left over right, using the full side step. There. Okay, again. There, I could hit the hand, or I could hit the head. Okay? So that is the cruzada, or the gunting. You call that gunting or scissor. Okay, now, we go to the next counter. If you thrust, I could counter with this one. Or I could go inside as I hit the hand, hit the head, follow up to the head. Again, I could do this one. Bang! Okay, mark. Again, if you thrust, I move, okay? I hit the hand as I hit the head, okay? So again, so this is one. I could smash the hand, or I could smash the head, the stick, in order to disarm him. There. Okay? So that is the counter for cruzada, for thrust number 5. Okay. Again, another counter. If you thrust number 5, I could use this one. Then I make a follow-up with my right hand. Okay? Again. Here, this is bagsak paikot. Bagsak paikot means, bagsak means to drop with a circular strike. Okay? Using the right hand, then make a follow-up. Again, I could also do the left hand follow-up. Okay? Or I could use the left hand. Bang! Then I could use the left hand as a follow-up. Or I could use left hand, then right hand follow-up. I could do the all the best there. Okay? So, that's the bagsak paikot, kaliwa. Okay. Now, if you thrust number 5 again, you can counter with the left hand. At the same time, you do the all the best. Okay? So, deflect here, then strike the head. Then you can do this one. Okay? Or I could also do it with the left hand. All the best. So, you can move outside, or you can move inside. Okay? Depending upon your body positioning. So, I could do this one, then I could make a follow-up. Or I could use the left hand, then I make the follow-up like that. Now, if you thrust number 5, I could also do the counter like this. I thrust, and I do a disarm. Now, if you thrust, you can do this counter. Okay, you just deflect the stick out, then you thrust in. Okay? If you strike here, you can do that follow-up or counter. Okay, that is the counter to number 5. Now, if you thrust to the chest, or number 10 thrust, you can counter with this one. Okay? You can just parry with your left hand and follow up to the head. Or you can also do the cruzada. Okay? You deflect with your left hand, at the same time you thrust. Okay? Or you can also do this one. Okay? Or you can pack, hit right away. Okay? So the moment he retracts, okay, again, oh, you hit there. Or you can also do the all the best. Then strike. Or I could use the all the best left hand. Okay? Now if you thrust number 8, or to the solar plexus, here, I could start with cruzada, then strike. Or I can just stop there, then strike the head. Okay, if he thrusts again, this is what you can do. Okay? First, you have to deflect with the right hand, then follow up with the left hand. Or you can just right on top, then strike. Okay? Or you can just hit the hand, then follow up with the left hand. Okay? So I will repeat the one that I used the arm. Bang. Okay? I could hit there. Or again, I move then up there. Or I could also use this one. Or I could do disarming. Now that we are done with the different counters, we will study the possible opening. Okay? When he strike, I block like this, right? This is a sombrada. But when I block, I also create an opening. So this is the opening. But as I create an opening, he also create an opening in the head. So what I will do, if he strike downward, I close my opening, but I enter in his opening. Okay? You got it? So again, if he strike, I block. This is my opening, but that is his opening. So that's why I get in right away. Okay? So whenever you strike, you create an opening and also your opponent. Okay. Now, if he strike number 4, I do this kind of counter. What will be my opening? So he will go down. Okay? So if he go down, it leaves his head open. That's why I smash the head. Okay? Again, here, there, up. That's why I just move back. That's why your footwork is very important. Don't rely on your hands, okay? Because if you commit mistakes with your hands, then you'll be in trouble. So the footwork and hands will coordinate with each other. Okay, number 5. If he thrust, I do this one. So what will be the next opening? So, poof, there. So again, this is, when I do this one, I also create an opening. That's why I close my opening, then I strike back. Okay. So if he thrust number 10, I could do this one. I hit the opening, okay? Now, if he thrust number 10, and you parry like this, and before you can deliver a follow-up, he already thrust. So what you can do is like this. Then you make your follow-up. Then sometimes when you parry and before you make a follow-up, he already makes his follow-up, then that's his opening. Okay, again. Here, there, pop, I can do that counter. Or if he thrusts like this and he thrusts with number 8, so here, then I could do this counter. So I could only do the counter if he didn't move right away. I could make the follow-up. But if he moves ahead of me with number 8, or number 10, I do this one, then he moved number 8, then that's the time I will do a counter. But if he doesn't do a movement, then I can do this follow-up. Okay? But if he move ahead after doing my counter, then I can do the follow-up or counter his counter. So if he thrust number 10, then he go to number 8, then I could do that one. So remember that I use the all the best. Okay? Slowly, I do this one. Then he thrust number 8, then I use the all the best. So you can use the different techniques that we did. So, number 4. If he strike, I do this one. Okay? But before I could deliver a follow-up, he already slashed in my body. So here, so this is my counter, like with number 1. Again. So if he strike, then this is the possible counter. Again. So if he strike, this is the possible counter, or he can do this again. So if he strike, I do this one, then I could do that one. Okay, again. Then I could use the all the best. Now, if he strike number 4, I do this one. But before I could hit him in the head, he already delivered a cut. So that's why I just do like that. So I already anticipate the next movements or the next strike that he will do. But sometimes he doesn't do like this. Sometimes he just do like that. So if I block and he, that's what you can do. Okay? Or again, here I can use the all the best. Okay? So if he strike like this, then he follow up like that before you hit him, then you can use the all the best. So here again, there. I am just making it clear to you that before we go to the next stage, you will know why we move like this. We are already preparing the counter for the next strike that your opponent is going to do. Now we go to the next stage, which is the freelance, counter to counter. First, I'm going to feed with my right hand and my left hand, while Steve will be the one to counter. Then after that, I will do counter to counter. Okay. Now, if I feed number 1, Steve is going to counter. Okay. So if I strike here, again, if I strike here, that's what you have to do. Remember that I'm only using first the right hand. Okay. So here, that's it. I thrust. Very good. I thrust number 10. That's what you have to do. Then here. Okay. Now, I'm going to strike with my left hand. I feed like this. That's he counter. Here. Then here. 4, 5. Okay. Here again. I can thrust number 10. Or I can thrust number 5. Or I can thrust number 8. Okay. Now, I can mix it together by feeding Steve with the 2 stick together, combining it. Remember that if you practice this, the feeder will do what I'm doing, and the counter, the one that do the counter will do Steve what's doing. Or you can do from the technique which we have studied. Okay. So, I strike here. That's it. I strike below. I strike here. I strike there. I thrust. Okay. Now, the next stage that we are going to do, I will counter the counter of Steve. So, I feed, and at the same time, I do the counter. Okay. I can mix with the basic feeding, like this one, or I can mix with the right or left hand with the right hand. Okay. So I strike here, I counter. Ha! As you could see, we are hitting with a full blow, okay? At first, when you train, you just do it slowly, okay? Then as you progress, you can start hitting with power, as what we are been doing here. But remember this, to do it slowly first, because as what you have seen, it rattan or whatever the weapon is, it has a tendency that it will break. So again, we will do the counter to counter. So I strike here, Steve will counter my counter here. Now we will do it again. With the same procedure, I will be feeding and I will do the counter. I will be using Leonard as my sparring partner. So that you can see, even he is tall, you can also practice with a tall person like he is. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. Although there are many more drills in Lameco Eskrima, I feel that with the material in this series, you will have a solid foundation with which to grow. Maraming salamat. Thank you.